talking to him and asking him questions. And he's a German, so his English is not the best, but he is an American expert, imagine that. And he doesn't understand my question because of the language. So I repeated it, and he immediately got very angry. And he says, why do you frame me? Why are you trying to frame me? And I was like, I'm not trying to frame you, but you didn't understand my question. And he flipped, and he says, I know what you Chinese journalists are trying to do. I've been interviewed by Chinese journalists before. You're trying to frame me and trap me. And I was really angry, of course. I said, first, you don't know. You can't just say all Chinese journalists act a certain way. And of course, we got into an argument at the end. He said, cancel my interview. Don't use any of my materials. And I think it's probably one of the most extreme experiences I've ever experienced as a Chinese journalist. I think it's important to have a diverse newsroom, and the way to have the diverse newsroom, I think, have two ways. So fundamentally is to improve the awareness. So everybody should be aware that how important it is to keep the editorial team and keep the journalists diverse, especially when it's an international newsroom. And the awareness is the key. And the second is on a practical level. If you can't just all of a sudden change the structure of the newsroom, then at least try to work with the local journalists, try to work with journalists of colors, and ask for their expertise, but also not only just frame them as it's a journalist covering that area. Like, not only Latino journalists can only cover Latin America. No, actually, the perspective they bring in to cover international news is also very important.
I think when we talk about diversity, the point is it's not about political correctness. We don't want this one tokenism type of check mark. Yes, we have one woman in the newsroom and the one black guy, and now we are all done. No, I think the problem is we miss stories when we are too alike in the newsroom. We will miss different perspectives. And just to give 3 brief examples from recent years, how come the financial crisis was such a surprise? Why no financial journalists saw it in 2008? Then when the so-called Arab Spring broke, it was again we didn't see it coming. We need a diversity and then collaboration in the newsroom. So when we collaborate with different colleagues and maybe even across borders, in the moment we collaborate across borders and the moment we have a collaborative set, we can call out each other's blind spots. So diversity is really saving quality journalism. Do cross-border journalism, work together, collaborate.
We face sometimes it's systematic mobbing or systematic oppression just because you are women, and it's unfortunately there are also not non-systematic, but it's unconscious bias, as we said, and this comes from the atmosphere that we have been growing in the media field since years. First, assure that women will have a place, women will have their voices, and again, as I said before, to believe them when they start to complain or to address some problems dealing with them or any kind of sexism or oppression while they are working. Believing them is the first step. It's very important.